going to be a doozy. I don't have any time to talk right now. Kids will be coming in just a few minutes, so I'll catch you later. Hey, feeling a little frazzled this morning. As you can see, I kind of breezed through and said hi real fast. The kids are at art right now. We just started a Go math lesson and had our snack, and I had them use their fruit snacks as their manipulatives. Those work great. And then they're very engaged because they know they're going to get to eat their math. So something we're already doing, and then we don't have to get out other manipulatives and put them away. So it's perfect. Plus I have the little snack trays that I use, and I sanitized all of them because they were gross. They had like, I call it cookie glue frosting. There was frosting stuck to them. There was also like cupcake frosting from our birthday celebrations last week. And just some random stuff from last year. Like when we had pizza, there was one that was like covered in pizza sauce. So I soaked that one really good and cleaned it last night before I left. Whew, I got a random hair. So this morning, I was met with a gaggle of my first grade pals standing in the hallway. Teachers, not kids. And hey, can you stop for a second? Sure. And I know that I talked about having to score the fact practice test and the story problem test to use to group our students for math interventions per one of the principals. And now we're told by the other principal to use the Go Math assessment to group our students, which I have not given because we were not ready for it yet. That's the frazzle this morning and why I breezed through here. And I had a parent standing at my door with ice cream for our ice cream party, and I hope she didn't think I was rude, but I was loaded down with my bag and my tripod and my purse, and I just pulled my watch apart and I don't know, just another thing. And so I was loaded down, like both hands were full, and I was trying to get in the room, and she's like, he read his book, and I'm like, that's awesome. She's like, I said, you just need to sign the back. And she's like, do you have a pen? I'm going, I said, I'm sorry. Like I did have one, but how could I get to it? My hands were loaded down. And she kind of indicated like in the classroom, and I said, I'm so sorry, I've got to set stuff up for the day. And she's like, oh. And so I kind of I took the bag of ice cream partway through that conversation and said, thank you so much for the ice cream. And then she talked about the book and stuff. So it wasn't like, thanks for the ice cream, bye. I thank you for her for the ice cream first, and then she asked about the pen and stuff. I said, I'm sorry. I said, you can get a pencil out of his backpack though if you want to, and write your name on the back of it. That'd be fine. Because I guess he'd already put his backpack down in one of the morning rooms and come out to find me. That's fine. This is distracting me. Okay, so like the back of my watch just, see, it's supposed to have a cover. It just totally flew off onto the floor. So I'll be fixing that later too. And I burned my hand on the glue gun trying to glue that stinking table skirt there. Right? I don't know if you can see it. There. It keeps falling off. It's driving me nuts. When the VIP has a friend sit there, they scooch around too much, I guess, and it bumps it. Just all kinds of little things. Little irritations. So, yeah. So, whoever last night decided we were going to do the Go Math assessment for our thing was kind enough to copy it and put it on my desk, so at least that part's done. I don't have to go find it and print it out. That's cool. But, like, there are 9, I think there's 9 lessons in Chapter 1, and I definitely do not want to skip adding in any order. That's important. They need to know that 2 plus 1 is the same as 1 plus 2. It's the same thing because you're just grouping the numbers. I really stressed that today. That was the lesson that we did right before I took them to art with their fruit snacks. I said, okay, please make a group of 3 fruit snacks in a row, and then make a group of 4 fruit snacks in a row. And then do you remember what are add-ins? Because the thing that we talked about was adding in any order with add-ins. And they're like, and I said, do you remember what add-ins are? Because we talked about it like once. And I've used the word, but you know, it's weird. It's like a foreign language. These math vocabulary terms are a foreign language, and they have to hear it over and over and over and over before it becomes more fluent in their brains. I totally get that. So I had students, they were on the right track. They're like, when you add numbers, and I'm like, you're getting there. Subtraction. I said, no, not subtraction, because it's got add in the name. So that's your clue. And I said, add-ins are just those numbers that you're adding. That's all it is. And they're like, oh. Yeah, I said, it's nothing complicated or hard. It's just they have a special name. They can also be called digits. But digits aren't necessarily add-ins. Add-ins are digits, but digits are not always add-ins. I didn't really want to get into that with them because that's like, what? No. Let's close that can of worms. So I showed them 2 plus 2. So if you had 2 plus 2, 2 and 2 are the add-ins because you're adding them together. Now, what do we call the number that's what they're all equal together? When you put them together in the group, the total in all, what is that word that we call that answer? 4. Okay, it's not a number, it's a word. It starts with a S. And they're like, 7. And I'm like, it's not a number, it's a word. And they're like, and they're like, what? And I said, some. And they're like, some. I'm like, yes, the word is sum. That just means the total number of things when you add together. You could add as many things as you want. Whatever they equal is the sum of all of those things. That's all the pieces put together in a group. The group of everything stuck together is the sum. And they're like, oh, okay. So I'm really trying to get that in their head. So I'm using that every time we do things in math, because that's how you have to do it. Otherwise it doesn't stick. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have like 15 minutes. So I'm like, I told my chef, I said, after everybody gets their green tray, just drop a fruit snack on their tray. As you just walk through the room, just go bloop, 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 bloop. I just gave them the box of fruit snacks and said, go to town, man. Make sure everybody gets a bag. Then I told them to go ahead and open their fruit snacks and carefully dump them onto their tray that had been nice and sanitized by Mrs. Bond, because I was scrubbing them with Clorox wipes and letting them dry so they didn't eat Clorox wipes. Ew. So that was cool. They really enjoyed, they love eating their math. We've done that the last 3 days and they're loving it. So it's great when you have like dry cereal, like Fruit Loops, and things that have bigger pieces. Cheerios are great too. Golden Grams are great. Anything that has little pieces that you can use for manipulatives, perfect. And we have snack time right before math, like at the very top of math. That's how we start off our math. And so it works out great if we have something that they can use like that. So that was that lesson. We're going to finish it when they come back from art. Then go on to the next lesson, which is adding numbers to 10. And it will incorporate the commutative property, which I didn't even tell them what the name of this thing was today yet, because we had like literally 15 minutes to start. So we did an introduction to what adding in any order is. And I even did an example of kids. I said, if I stand by this friend and I'm on this side, how many people are there? And they're like, 2. And I said, well, what if I change places and stand on this side of him? How many people are there? And they're like, 2. I'm like, yeah. So does it matter if you add this and this, or if you add this and this? And they're like, no. I said, no, because adding is just grouping things together and counting them all up together, right? And they're like, yeah. I said, so you can add in any order. It doesn't matter. 1 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 1. And they're like, oh, yeah, cool. So we know that now, but now they need to be able to recognize it in numbers. So if they see 1 plus 2, and they know that's 3, they should be able to translate that to, oh, when I see 2 plus 1, that also is 3, because it's the same numbers. They're just in different spots. That's our next lesson, because the adding numbers to 10 does a lot with the commutative property. And then they have to match the number sentences. If you see 1 plus 2 and you see 2 plus 1, draw a line, because those are partners. So we're going to do that for the next lesson. That's lesson 1.8, I believe. I don't even know anymore. I'm so frazzled. I know I've mentioned that because I'm so frazzled. I'm cramming like 2 math lessons in today on a Friday that's shorter anyway. We're not going to do Healthy Heritage now. I did not tell them we were going to do it though. So thankfully I did not spill that bean. So that bean is still in the coffee pot. Phew. I told my partner teacher, I said, I'm not going to get to do Healthy Heritage today. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, there's no other way I can do this math and give that test and be able to grade it before the 2 o'clock meeting today if I don't skip Healthy Heritage. So I'm just going to give those little buggers 2 next week. We'll do like 1 on Monday and 1 on Friday, because doggone it, they deserve it. It's not their fault that our directions were changed because it came from 2 different people. I'm sorry, y'all. I try not to be a complainer, but I was so frustrated this morning. I apologized to the teacher that was giving this information, because I know she was just relaying, and she just wanted to avoid problems later in the day like we had last Friday when we were having things sprung on us after hours. Yeah. Anyway, so I apologized to her when everybody kind of dissipated to the rooms. I said, I'm so sorry. I am not upset with you at all. I hope you understand that. I'm so sorry. I'm just very frustrated with upper people because they need to get together. I'm sorry. We can't hear one thing from one person and one thing from another person and know what to do with ourselves, because that's what happened last week. And I said, I can't do this. I can't work like this. Homie, don't roll like that. You can't tell. It's like mom and dad. Mom says I can go to the party and dad says no. What does the kid do? Well, the kid's going to want to go with the person that gave them the answer they liked. I didn't have that option. I didn't have an answer I liked or didn't like. They were just two different things. Use this test as grouping. Now use this test as grouping. And when you're not there yet, I said, I can't do this, guys. I can't do that to my kids. I can't give them a test on material I have not taught. That is not fair. And even if I did, the results mean nothing. The data is not accurate. They're not doing it because they just don't know how to, let me phrase that a different way. If they don't get those answers right on the test, it's not because they just don't know it. It's because they didn't learn it because I haven't taught it. The whole point of a test is to measure learning. If you haven't taught it, they haven't learned it, you can't measure it. That was what I was trying to get across this morning. And I think I just came across as, because that's how I felt. Because it was literally as soon as I walked down the hallway, kablam, come join our little meeting huddle in the middle of the hallway, which not a good place to meet. We got kids coming in. I had a parent at my door with ice cream. Really sweet of her to bring that. I hope I didn't offend her. I feel like I probably did. And I didn't mean it. I was just really upset from that whole scenario. I mean, who wouldn't be, honestly? Because it's just like sprung on you. Like you think you got your craps together, and then somebody yanks the rug out from under you, and you got nothing again. That's how I feel. Okay, we've been given different orders for the meeting this afternoon per the head principal. Not everyone was ready to give the Chapter 1 test, me included. So we've been told to go with our original instructions, which we talked about on Wednesday. And some other things, which I won't go into. So hopefully things will be sorted and better now. I don't know if people took it upon themselves to change things or if they were told to change things. I don't really know. Honestly, I'm kind of to the point where I don't really care. I just want to be given a straight answer and not have something pulled at the last second and changed, because that's very frustrating, and you could tell because I got upset. And I try not to get upset because it's really not worth it. But when it comes to kids, I'm very adamant about doing what's best for them. Come hell or high water, that's what I'm going to stand and do, and I will defend my position. So, in the words of Mrs. Doubtfire, don't fuss with me. I was ready to stand my position. So, that's the only time that I get kind of about things is when I don't feel like it's right for kids. I cannot go against my heart and doing what's right for the kids, because that's why we're here. So that's been changed. Everything is better. I'm really not looking forward to the meeting, to be honest. I'll let you know how it goes when I get out of it. It's just something that we have to do. I do not want to end up dreading Fridays. Fridays should be a happy day. It should be Fry-yay, not Fry-eh. So I'll let you know how things go. I want to stay positive. I'm going to try to go in with a great mindset and a good attitude and just kind of go with the flow and keep my thoughts to myself if they're not positive. And it's about time to go get my kids from recess, and then we're going to pack, and they're going to jimmy jim out of here, and I'll get myself together for next week as much as I can, because I feel like I'm behind in everything because of all these meetings we got pulled for and all these changes that didn't actually need to be changed. So that's where I am right now. So I've got 2 minutes to get my Heiner outside to get the kiddos. And I've already changed the dates, I think, on all my calendars. I have a lot of calendars in this room. But I want the kids to see the different types of calendars and to always know where to look to find the date. Because we've started writing the date in our math. And I think I'm going to have them date their writing so that we can see a progression of their writing. Because, you know, kids, they don't always keep things in order and things fall on the floor and they get scattered. So that way we can put them back together. That'll help us keep track. And it'll be fun for them to look back at the end of the year and go, wow, look how I wrote in September and look how I write in May. Whoo, it's like I'm a different kid. I'm like, well, you kind of are a different kid. So the kids had a super fun time with challenge bins today during ketchup and pickles time. There weren't as many kids in ketchup time today. So it's working. Mrs. Bond doesn't have to be naggy, nag, nag. I can just say, okay, save that for ketchup time. And they're like, oh, can I just finish it now? I'm like, nope, time's up. We got to move on. Sorry. You'll get to do that during ketchup time, though. And I give them a little smile. And they're like, oh. I'm like, sorry, friends. We only have a certain amount of time to do everything every day. And you're going to have to learn how to budget your time. I think I just noticed, nope. I thought something had fallen over up there. But no, that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm just, oh, I told you this morning I was frazzled. I don't like starting out the day like that. That was not how we should start out the day. And actually one of the teachers said, we need to not have meetings in the hallway. We need to do this during our meeting time and get things squared away before now. So this should never happen again. So, and I agreed with her in my head. I was like, yeah, because kind of being, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of what the word would be. I don't know. Whatever. It's over. It's over. I'll just let it go. I'm frozen. I'm letting it go. Okay. It's Friday. It's afternoon. All we have left to do, seriously, in my classroom, since I don't have after school duty, is to get the kids to pack. And that's super easy, theoretically, because everything's left at home. They don't have to put anything on a different side of the folder. Yay. So we'll do that. We'll get our chairs put up and we'll talk about today and we'll talk about what we're doing Monday and go from there. Oh, we had a great ice cream party, by the way. That was super good. I had a tiny bit. One of the dads brought in a gallon during lunchtime and I just went, let's just use this one because it's already out and I can't fit any more ice cream in my freezer. Let me show you the freezer. Check that out. Ice cream, and 2 back there. There's my ice and there's ice cream that was left over from the big container for my daughter so she can have some. Also, ice cream toppings, and you can see the Ready Whip. There's another can back there. Okay, with all the craziness of this morning, I did not have time to show you my outfit of the day. And I didn't get to vlog very much today because there was just a lot of stuff. I'm just going to leave it like that. It was a rough day. Not because of kids. Kids were awesome. And not because of teaching. Teaching was awesome. We had super fun with math. We used fruit snacks with math. What could be better than eating your math? So day 3 of eating our math. They're loving it. But just a lot of unnecessary frustration. I don't even know if you can see me because of the weird lighting. It's kind of glary. Okay, if you notice my hair looks different, it's because I got a haircut after school. So it's a little shorter and it's a little flatter because none of the product stayed. Of course, it got combed out. So that'll look better next time. And my makeup is probably all melted off my face by this point. So I apologize. It's Friday evening and I'm looking a mess. But here's my outfit. So I said this tunic came from Old Navy this summer. And my capris came from like Walmart a bajillion years ago, probably 4 years ago. I don't know, because I just wear them in the spring and the early fall, and that's it. And then I wore these shoes. Yes, I'm a crazy person. Actually, they were quite comfortable, except for the back of my left shoe. The strap started rubbing on the back of my heel, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I changed into these toward the end of the day. I always have a backup pair of shoes in case I've got some questionable shoe choices going on. But those looked super cute with my outfit, so I tried them. But yeah, I flopped around in these at the very, very end of the day so that the strap wouldn't rub on my feet anymore. So that worked out well. Oh my goodness, I'm all clogged. Let me back up a little bit so you can see my outfit here. It's just a flowy tunic. And it has like a dress shirt, kind of a hem to it. And then my just tan capris that go to here. And then I showed you my shoes. It's very comfortable and has this little lace up thing. And I did lace it this morning and like tie it, but it just felt constricting. I cannot stand stuff up against my neck. So I just let it stay open and I kind of liked that. And that's why I didn't wear a necklace because I thought this was enough decoration there. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, these came from Cato. And these came from Cato too, I think. I generally get my jewelry from either Cato or Maurice's. And every once in a while Walmart. But generally Cato or Maurice's because they have a little bit better quality jewelry sometimes. So, yep, that's about it. So, I told you I'd tell you how the meeting went. The beginning of our meeting, not good. Frustrating like this morning. It started off basically the same way. And honestly, I sat there listening to how we're being told to do things to group kids for math interventions. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is exactly what transpired this morning that did not go well. And I'm just like, oh, Mittens is pushing around on the tripod, sorry. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this again. I'm being told something different again. And so I sat there and I thought, if this doesn't go a different direction pretty soon, like I kept waiting for the principal to come because she said she was going to come. Stop, Mittens. She's wiggling everything. She was supposed to be there to straighten everything out. And I just kept waiting, waiting, waiting. I'm like, please, please, please get here soon. Because I was ready to get up and walk out. I was just going to politely gather my things, walk across the hallway to my classroom and close the door. And people could be like, where's she going? What is she doing? And I'd just be like, I have to leave now. And that would have been all I would have said, because I couldn't deal with all that nonsense again. There's just too many, maybe it's too many chiefs and not enough Indians is the problem, which my school district is like the Indians. So that kind of relates pretty well. So I'm not sure if what we were being told came from just these teachers that decided that that's how we needed to do things, or if they were given directives from above. I don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't really care. I didn't want to get into it because it was not what we were told to do on Wednesday, which is frustrating. I mentioned that earlier, that I can't deal with the whole, here's how I want you to do things, do them this way, and then the next day or 2 days later be told something completely, utterly, crazily different. I can't work like that. I can't work like that. So thankfully the principal came in. She straightened everything out. She said, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to focus on. What is our ultimate goal? Here's what we want to get to this point. How are we going to get there? This is what we need to do. You guys are getting a little mixed up in the muddy-duddy of this stuff. This is not what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Our end result is here. Not all this little stuff here. This is not what we're doing. We're doing this. So you need to get to this. So now I'm super excited kind of to teach math interventions, because then I can use my creativity, because we were told we didn't have to just use Google Math. We could use whatever we want. I'm so excited. My teacher creativity is going to shine through in this intervention group that I'm going to have. So I'm going to have like the on grade level kids, teaching them addition strategies. And we asked the little group of us that had those same kids, because we have 53 in that group, which is good. It's good that they're on grade level, at least 53 of them. We split it into 4 groups. So our little group asked the principal, would it be okay if we use strategies that Go Math doesn't teach? Because they don't teach using a number line, which is odd to me, because that's like one of the first things I've always taught a student how to do, to add, because they can see the number getting bigger as they add. It's a visual. It makes sense. Using a 10 frame, they don't teach that either. I don't understand that, because that's the precursor to learning place value, which is coming up. And then they can do double digit addition so much easier, because they understand how numbers work. Also using tally marks. They don't do that either. What the heck is Stan? I don't know why. I don't know. And then there was another strategy. I can't remember, but maybe I'll talk about it next week when I'm actually using them, because I'll remember then, because I'll have all my planning done from this weekend. So I will share everything that I do, because I'll be so happy and excited. I'll want to share with you. Yes. So yeah, I was just talking to my husband forever. Like, it's after 7:30 and he came home at 6. So that's how much I blabbity-blab, because I had to get all that out of my head. My poor daughter on the way home heard all of it too. And she's stuck in the car with me for 25 minutes. So she was just like, she can't get away from me. She's really good about listening to me though, and going, yeah, that doesn't make any sense either to me, Mom, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was nice to have some therapy. So I'm kind of excited now to have math interventions group. I don't really feel like it's a waste of time now. Last week I did. It just seemed silly and pointless. But this week it makes sense. I feel like we have a purpose. I feel like we have a goal. I feel like we have real things we need to do and that are going to help kids, which is what it's supposed to be for now. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to always be for, helping kids. That's why we're here, is to help kids, right? Do it for the kids. What's best for kids. That's my goal in life as a teacher, to be doing what's best for kids. So that's going to be super cool. So I'll be happy to share those things with you as I do them next week, and maybe it'll give you some ideas. One of the things I did this week, and I talked about it each day, was instead of using just like the plastic counters, like they're yellow and red. Yeah. There's also like the bean counters you can get that are bean shaped, and they're white and red. And you can use like linking cubes, and you can use, I don't know, bears, and just all kinds of stuff. You can use pennies if you want to. Objects, just using objects to add. We were using our snack, because we always do snack at the beginning of math. And so it was perfect. We had Fruit Loops one day. We had fruit snacks today. And I think I talked about it before. I used something else, because we did it 3 days in a row, which worked out really, really well. So, yay. And the kids were super excited to eat their math again. So yay. So today I think I told you, I don't even remember what I talked about anymore. So sorry if I repeat myself, but yeah, I think I talked about using fruit snacks to add in any order so they could see it. They could see it and they totally got it just like that. I mean, you could tell a kid 3 plus 4 is the same as 4 plus 3 and they'll be like, okay, sure. But if they see it in a snack or whatever, some kind of manipulative in front of their eyeballs, they can see that it's the same because you can have them shove them together. They're like, oh, okay, bling, mission accomplished. Yes, our ultimate goal has been satisfied. That's what I love about math. It's just, for me, it's easy because it makes sense. Unlike teaching spelling, which makes no sense because the English language is cray-cray. Because we are a melting pot of sounds and words. So the spellings are wackadoo. So I feel like I'm constantly apologizing for the lack of rules that our words follow. We call them jailhouse words or rule breaker words because they don't follow the normal rules, which is why I don't really teach rules anymore because there's no point. Because the kids will be, I thought you told us. That's what they used to go. I thought you told us A did this. It does, except in that word. Sorry, that's one of those jailhouse words. They're like, oh. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. English is weird. If you move to France, it makes more sense. But obviously that's not going to happen, so we got to teach them English. Yep. Anyway, I'm going to close out the vlog because my voice obviously is about shot. We're going to have some leftover pizza from last night that we saved. And we're going to probably watch a spooky Tim Burton movie because Caitlin's all over Tim Burton. And she says it's spooky time, even though I keep saying it's only September. It's a little early. She's like, no, it's spooky time. The pumpkins are out. I'm like, yeah, that's a marketing ploy to get more out of it because September has nothing. And they need to start selling stuff. It's not because it's actual spooky time. It's because they want to get you to buy into it. Anyway, don't let them suck you in, Caitlin. But she's in. She's in because she loves Halloween. So whatever, I can deal with that. It's fine. So I'm going to say goodnight. I will talk to you again in my next vlog. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. This has been split up into 2 because I was very chatty and a lot of stuff happened. So I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already because I'm like this all the time. So if you like crazy, you're in the right place. Thanks for everything. Comment below if you have anything you want to say or questions you want to ask. I'd be happy to answer them. I'd happy to be chatting with you when I have lips again that work. So have a great weekend and I'll see you next week.